that display, that caused heaps of controversy and outrage, did so for a reason. This was proof that if anything else, specs don't always matter. Sure, it's wide full HD display, but its implementation of IPS meant that it cast awful shadows in the corners and around the edges compared to an OLED. It also had really poor pixel refresh times and straight up bad viewing angles. It was a pretty weak screen, which was hilarious because all the nerds in the comments of the videos were screaming resolution when at this size, the iPhone's display was just better, even though it was not sharper. And though the headphone port and micro SD card slot were being removed from a few phones, mainly from the iPhone, the Poco F1 stuck with it because it added value, and I can totally see why people wanted a phone like this. It was a people's phone, not a fashion statement, not a sign of wealth, but a functional and complete device for many people. Fun fact actually, and this is neither fun nor a fact, but in my opinion, the F1 is actually built nicer than the Pixel 8a. Its plastic back almost feels hollow, and the phone itself just kind of feels like a toy. The F1 feels denser, it feels stronger, like it's going to withstand a drop or a collision with fewer dramas, which is quite interesting because there's no IP rating or mil-spec certification, so it's kind of on you if you drop it in a pool or get stuck out in the rain with it. But it does feel pretty
Malaysia
solid,
is
and
one of Asia's
my units
rising
held up
economies.
remarkably well.
The country
But the
grew
F1,
its gross
yeah,
domestic
it's
product.
neat. I knew zero people in real life who had one of these things, even though they were available here in the UK on launch. These phones were made for a specific group of people, and so there were, to some people, understandable compromises, such as in the camera performance, that other companies have actually been going the opposite way and trying to focus their efforts on improving instead of this phone. This was never an insane camera, and it certainly feels its age now, specifically with a relatively small sensor and complete lack of optical image stabilization. It's not the worst camera in the world, especially in decent light, but its lack of high-end dynamic range and its issues in low light are apparent and would certainly put a fair few people off, given that cameras are statistically one of the most sought-after things in smartphones. Can you use the Poco F1 in 2024? Well yeah, of course you can. It's not a horrific phone by any stretch of the imagination. The performance is certainly not what it was, but you can still play more basic games, and browsing around and switching between apps isn't super jarring or laggy, which is nice considering this phone is now 6 years old. The one I have here is the base model. It's 6 gigs of RAM and 64 gigs of storage, which does feel pretty dated now, but there are of course better options you can buy, and they're also really cheap on eBay if you want one and want to try it out. My model probably needs a new battery, to be honest, but aside from that, you can very much get the basics done on this thing, and it's one of the most popular phones out there for custom ROMing, so there are heaps of different ways of getting Android 14 on this thing, despite the last official update being Android 10, and the launch version being Android 8.1 way back in 2018. And you'll probably want to get a fresh ROM on this thing if you can, because the official Android 10 build on here will and does run into compatibility issues with some apps and security issues with others. I don't recommend the average person picking up a Poco F1 if they want to use the stock old software on it. It's just not that good these days, and like I said, there are plenty of other options. The Poco phone community is really strong. On Reddit it has almost 100,000 members, which is pretty substantial, and there are heaps of people still engaging in and with the Poco community, affectionately known as Poco Bros. If you know, you know.
Di balik sebuah petanda, jika ada cara bersama. Okay, let's go. user showed up slightly bad. Oh, feel the lag. The CPU user showed up slightly bad. Oh, feel the lag. Okay, let's go. Wah, hidup lagi kau ya. Oh, feel the lag. Well, hardware punya coding macam buruk sikit lah. If it works, it works. Alright. Wow, I want to repair my shit real quick. Aircon pun. Biar aku dah 80 brother.
Welcome. Got a selection of good things. Give that the care of pleasant travels.
Berat sangat pintu eh. Cuma minyak juga ni. Wih, berapa banyak ni brother. Cuba.
Oh, ikan keli je. Besar gila. Oh bro, there's got limited supplies of spears,
Where'd you go?
Bro, ikan keli. What the hell?
Tough son of a bitch.
Oh, hai mati je lah bang. Susah sangat ni.